Well, hello there. I almost missed my own stream. Well, not really, but we have coffee in hand, booted up, mic check, camera check. Actually, I can play with the lights a little bit too. How's it look back there? You're not there? Oh, come on, I think I see myself. All right. Howdy, Azul, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Happy Wednesday. I'm just messing with my lights a little bit. We want some like accent on the back wall, but not anything crazy. Welcome, welcome. Hope everybody's Wednesday's doing good. As you can see, I've kind of left this place a little bit of a mess. It's kind of busy. So we're gonna be doing some cleaning today and packing orders today and getting things organized as I hopefully answer some questions from everybody once we get going in here. All right. End of the month stuff is always crazy. Legendary Makes. Hey, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. I should probably get over in chat a little bit more over on Discord, probably. For others, people wondering, it's not. It's a different Discord, not through my channel. But yeah, hope you're doing well. Is business good on your end? I know you were working on like a new studio setup that looked pretty cool. Ethan, you're watching from the ocean? Does that mean you're in the ocean, or are you staring at the ocean with your phone in front? Either way, that's pretty cool. I'm lucky because in Michigan we have the lakes, which are kind of like they're freshwater oceans, but you can still drown in them. So I guess they're kind of dangerous, but we don't have sharks, which is kind of nice. All right, so as people trickle in here, like I said, I'm going to start cleaning. If you have noticed, back here, I've actually put a whole bunch of bins. I've been getting a little bit more organized, and when I have downtime on the printers, I just print off a bunch of these 2x2 unit Gridfinity bins with some extra filament. When I got the glass for my printer, and I still haven't replaced that front door of the P1S that broke, but they did send me 2 free spools of filament with like the reusable spools, and they were both black, but they're like the PLA Basic, and I don't really use PLA Basic, so I've been just using them for like miscellaneous things like storage bins and whatnot. Ethan, you're on a yacht. Well, that's kind of cool. I hope it's free. Free yachts are the best. Wi-Fi is not the best though, LOL. That's okay. YouTube does a great job of compressing videos. So hopefully you can still get this stream. Azul says, also from Mizzy, Midland to be exact, moved 30 plus years ago. Yeah, I've got a bunch of, I grew up in Midland actually, and then we moved. So now I'm on the west side, but yeah, Midland. I did grow up around there. I don't go back super often. Every once in a while, I still have family, of course, in the area, but it's been a long time. Yeah. Bay Area. Speaking, this goes back, not 3D printing, but disc golf again. I forgot, but MVP discs are made in Michigan, and I think they're in Midland, which is kind of cool. And I'm pretty sure that Adam Savage, no, it wasn't Adam Savage, or Smarter Every Day, somebody did like a video on them and went and checked out their injection molding stuff for their Frisbee discs. Lucky Bear says, do you use PLA Mat instead? Yes, I do use PLA Mat almost exclusively. I think it prints really nice. I'm trying to give like an example. So this is the tape dispenser thing that goes onto this little mount right there that I designed, and I have like one more tweak or so, and I'll be putting this on Patreon. But this is done with PLA Mat, and it just has like a really nice finish. And it's also like not stringy at all. Granted, I don't really have super bad issues with stringing to begin with. The one downside with the mat is it scratches kind of easily. That's the only downside, but not too big of a deal. One other thing here, so this mark, right? This is from, let me get my face out of here. This is from the print bed. It's like that, it's not ghosting. I call it ghosting because that looks more like a ghost than artifacts in the print layers, which I had put like a short on a while ago about. But I know I made kind of like a meme-y short a while back, but honestly, just for reference, because I've got it here, watch this just disappear. Boom. Look at that. All you have to do is get just a torch and just hit it quick, and that helps hide some of those ghosting marks. It's still visible, but compared to what it was, it's a lot better. So I know it was kind of like a meme, but honestly, the torch does work really, really good to finish off parts. I mean, you can say they're fire finished 3D prints. That's good marketing, I suppose. Let's see here. Ethan said, sadly not a free yacht. It's of course doing this for my captain's license. Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool, getting your captain's license. Game Dad, welcome back. Glad to have you in the stream. I should have probably done, scheduled this stream so everybody can know about it, but I'll have it set up for next week. Game Dad says, I'm curious, what's the worst injury you've had while running the business? Not flesh. I'm thinking like cutting myself. Fresh in mind since I had an embroidery needle go through the bone of my finger last night. Worst thing that I've had happen, I do some soldering for like one particular part for my partner's shop. There's like a little motor that we use, and I have kind of burned myself on that once, but again, it was so small, like I don't even think I got a blister. And then I have stabbed myself with an X-Acto knife. That was probably the worst, is I was being dumb and I was using the X-Acto knife in a way that I was like, if this slips, it's gonna cut my finger. And then I thought in my head, but it won't slip, crits. And it slipped and it went right into the tip of my finger. That was only like a couple weeks ago, but it didn't actually do too much damage. Probably went, like I'm gonna get out the calipers to tell you. It probably made it like a couple millimeters or 3 millimeters into my finger though. But no, I'm lucky, I should say. I've not really had any injuries on my end. Mike says, you're giving out all the secrets. Are you talking about the flame one? Yeah, we're giving out some of the good secrets, but I hope it helps everybody. Okay, I'm gonna keep track of the chat, and then we're gonna kind of like peruse the shop and show you what's going on, and also try to get a little organized because it's been crazy in here. Wrapping up the end of the month, and right now in the shop I have about 70. Let's actually just check. I'm just gonna look for you guys because I don't want to take a guess, but I think we might hit a total of 100 orders this month between all of my channels, which would be awesome. Quick look here and here. So we've got 71. I need to get my calculator out just to be sure. And this month. So we're at 93, 95 orders so far this month, and we still have the rest of today and tomorrow to go. Oh no, I had more than that. We're at 96 orders in total for all the shops. My Shopify store, which generally people on Shopify either buy just like an STL file or my Dice Boy, which this has the project files and 3D print files on there for my Dice Boy. This one does get, every once in a while, I still have people trickle through that video and buy this, which is kind of nice. That's like an easy 10 bucks in the pocket, but that took a while to make. And I still need it took a while to make. So I guess that's just slowly paying off, technically, the amount of time. So that's cool. But yeah, overall, I'm just trying to wrap up all those orders because a lot of them are outstanding. And when I say like a lot, I'm talking about maybe 15 of them are outstanding. Shortly after the stream today, I actually have to go to the post office and pack. Sold a bunch more charger brackets, and then just some of my coffee stuff outside of just my partner's shop. But that's nice. But you can see it's getting a little hectic in here. One thing is I'm finally to the point now where buying the big rolls of packing material makes sense. I have been buying them in the smaller, like $20 to $30 Scotch cushion lock rolls, and I have this thing back here, which I use and design for those rolls, which honestly, this thing works great, but this is the more cost-effective solution, is to buy the big roll, and it's not cheap, but I guess if you go through it, it makes more sense. And it does not fit onto that, not even close, because it has this massive like hole thing here. So I've actually bought the stand for this that I designed those to replace, so I didn't have to spend the money. But I guess that's what happens as your business grows. You actually move into needing the bigger stuff. So that's kind of cool. I would say that's a win for the business, which is nice. Tape dispensers I have going out, so we'll get those packed actually right now. And then I have something on the printer that needs to go in this box in T-minus 11 minutes, so I'll do that shortly too. Let's check for some more questions here. Mike's still saying, wipe the bed with a magic eraser before printing and that will help reduce ghosting without having to wash the bed. Yeah, that's a good call. I think I've tried that one before, but I will definitely try it again here. I'm going to try to pronounce your name. So Satano Ludicio started a 3D printing business 4 months ago, and it's going awesome. And that's what I love to hear. That's super cool. That's super cool. Colin says, what would you recommend? I have an Etsy shop for a while and didn't put much effort into it, but I want to put more effort into it. What would be a better way to start a new shop? Or stick this one through? Is that what I'm assuming? It says you haven't sold anything. I'm kind of parsing what you're asking there, but I think I got the gist of it. Without knowing what the shop is for and what it looks like, I would say if you were to start a new shop, launching with like 3 to 5 products right off the bat is pretty important. And then also the second thing I would say is make sure that it's around a specific niche. Now, my shop on Etsy, my original shop, the off event shop, is not that. It is a hodgepodge of whatever comes to my mind and I think is cool. But the new shops that I am opening are focused on specific categories. And I just got my second sale on one of my new shops yesterday, which is fantastic. I mean, it's only had 2 sales total so far, but I love seeing those starting to get interaction. One other thing that I kind of like started to do at the very beginning, and then I phased out of doing when launching a shop and putting up new listings, was the keyword tags, right? So like when you put in an Etsy listing, you can put in 13 tags for each product, and those are used to determine where you fit in when people are searching for things. So like my tape dispenser, for instance, when people search for like tape dispensers or office tape organization or like a bunch of those types of things, or even broader like office organization or craft station, like that type of stuff. Those are all keywords that you would want to use in that tag section. I have generally found using like ChatGPT to be my quick way of getting those tags, and also like trying to come up with them myself to copy and paste into that system. But I've gone back and I actually started using one of those keyword tools that like scrape Etsy, and then and then you can like see the actual search volume for those keywords. And I've done that with my new shop, and I didn't get any sales in that new shop until I went through, relooked at all the keywords, found probably like the 13 most searched keywords, selected those, and then basically all of my listings, even though they're slightly different products, are just using the same keywords because I want to drive traffic from that type of search to the shop. So I would recommend doing your research on the keywords, doing your research on what exists in the market and what people are actually looking for. Because if you use really specific words that nobody's looking for, even if you have the right product fit, it's just not going to be found. You're not going to get enough traffic to your website It all is a numbers game at the end of the day, unfortunately. Okay, next question is from Colin again. Says, do you make your own files? Yes, every single product I sell outside of my partner shop is all of my own designs. In my partner shop, all of his products are 100% his own designs. I really pride myself on trying to do all the 3D modeling myself, or not trying, but I do it. Which does limit what I can make, right? Because I can only make what I'm capable of making. But the more I practice, the better I'm getting, and I can see that even my own process in designing products gets better over the last year. And sometimes I feel like I go back and feel like, wow, I could make this way better now. But as long as it's still a good product that people like, then I don't have to worry about it too much. Let's see here. Cyril says, hi there, love the channel. Quick one, have you ever experimented with flexible filaments like TPU or working with 3D printed objects and silicone? I have one roll of TPU, and it is in deep storage right now. I think I printed something twice on it, and that's it. I've not really experimented much with it. I just haven't really had a need for it yet. And I found out that after I bought the TPU that there's different hardnesses. So like I actually bought a pretty hard TPU, and it wasn't good for my application. That and being more expensive, and also not being able to run through an AMS, I just really haven't used it. So I don't know. Maybe one day I'll come up with a product that could use the TPU, but I honestly don't know. I will say, I talked to somebody, I don't know if it was through an email or maybe in the comment section, or maybe on live stream last week, but somebody was asking about doing like multi-material printing where they used like TPU as an O-ring that was embedded into the part. And I would say it's an interesting concept, being able to do two different filaments and integrate TPU with like PLA. But one of the benefits of having those O-rings and other seals removable in the design is it means it's repairable. So sometimes I think that's like, in that specific case, I would say that's maybe like using the functionality that you can get with 3D printing and the AMS units, but using it in a way that actually makes the part not as good because it's not repairable down the road. Anyway. Next question is... All right, from Cameron, love your content. Do you have any vibration quality issues with your printers running next to each other? I'm considering trying a cement block and foam method myself. My answer is no, and if I do, like the artifacts or whatever comes out of that is negligible to the point that I can't tell if it's vibrations causing any issues. The thing about the bamboo printers is like their whole pitch, at least from me, was that they're supposed to be vibration dampening, right? Like they have the vibration calibration. I forgot, Maker's Muse literally tied a bamboo printer to a rope and hung it from the ceiling and had it print, and the print turned out fine. So I'm not super concerned about that. And then on top of that, the surface that I have it on is actually really sturdy. So the table that I made is number one, is screwed to a wall that is basically structural to my house, because I put up some 2x4s and pounded them in so they're helping support the floor a little bit, and then they're screwed in obviously. And then my bench is screwed to that, so that's alone pretty strong. And then it's got a 4x4 post that's a leg as well. That was probably overkill, but I had it extra from a different project, so I used it. Then the table itself is 3/4 inch plywood, and then I have another 2x4 rim that goes around that as additional structure. So I mean, I could sit on the table and it would probably not budge. So having two printers on it is no problem. And then my other two printers are just on a platform on the ground, same construction. So I've never had any issues. But again, I build and spec my projects somewhat to accommodate the vibration. That method is probably how I will build my future work benches or printer setup in the new shop. And when I say new shop, I mean like my potential shop that I'm dreaming about for next year, mid to end of summer, as long as things keep, growing. So, but yeah, that hopefully answers the question. They do have the anti-vibration feet, which I hear work really well. I've not personally tested them out yet. I'm a little constrained on space because they do prop the printers up an additional, few inches, which I am very short on inches at the moment. Mata says, is it 13 keywords or 13 phrases for Etsy? And the answer is it's 13 phrases, but they can only be 20 characters long. Etsy does automatically split multi-word phrases into individual keywords. So for instance, if you did like mounted black tape dispenser, that's probably too many. But each one of those words would be its own keyword. And then also like the pairings of them. And so like you can get more than 13 keywords out of your system by using that method and using long tail phrases. But it's a lot harder to do that, and to map it out in a way that you don't get a lot of overlap is really tricky. Kind of beyond the amount of time that I am willing to spend on that piece of it, because my brain just starts to hurt. Let's see here. Next question is from DZ. What budget do you spend on Etsy ads? And I can give you an exact answer if you'd like to know. So on average, my daily spend is anywhere from, my high days are like $7. My low days are like $2. So anywhere in that range, probably like $4 to $5 is my average spend per day. And right now I am getting revenue from it, direct sales. But right now with my personal Etsy shop, I'm just like seeing it more as like, what is my total revenue versus the spend on ads? Because I don't know if this is just me like gaslighting myself, but I want to believe that some people see the ads on Etsy but don't actually click on the ad. They just go to the shop, or they find another listing that's organic and go to the shop. So you're still getting brand awareness from that. And I need visibility on my shop, so that's why I'm doing it. Now it's still making a return, so that's fine. But yeah, and most of my sales this month have not been from ads, so that's also okay. And last thing I'll say about Etsy ads is you only pay when somebody clicks on the ad with Etsy. That's called PPC, or pay-per-click advertising. So even if you set your budget to $1 gajillion, which Etsy doesn't allow you to do, because they do cap you. Like I think my cap is 20. I don't think I can go above that per day. I don't spend that budget out. So you really have to have a good product. And if they are spending the full budget, that means people are looking for it and clicking on your ad, which probably means you're getting sales. So, I mean, it's not a bad thing. Jonas, hello. Hope you're enjoying Germany. Hope everything's good on your end. Let's see here. Yeah, John Grubb, keyword optimization using ChatGPT, definitely a good use. I mean, it's kind of like right in the vein, text-based tool that helps. Layer by layer, I think I got that right. Even though you design your own products, have you ran into any issues of takedowns after their new policies? I have not. I have had no takedowns of my products. Yep. I guess I don't have much else to say about that. I don't know, and I have not heard of Etsy doing a bunch of takedowns of products yet. So that's kind of like TBD. I guess I was one of the people who jumped on the hype train bandwagon to get that info out there, that they changed the policies. But I mean, it still stands, right? The policy is in place. So if they ever wanted to enforce it, you could lose your shop. And I don't think that's personally worth it to even have that potential risk. And also, I don't really feel like competing with people by selling the exact same product as everybody else. So that's another piece of it. All right, I need 6 screws for this order. I might have to get out more screws. I think we've just got enough. 1, 2, 3. And as you watch this, just know that this is not how long things take. It's just going to take a lot longer because I'm currently doing a live stream and answering questions. I usually can crank this stuff out pretty quick here. Somebody just asked the most important question, and I'm so sorry, but I can't pronounce your name. And they said, how's Amazon going? And my answer to that is it's not. I still have to do it. I've been honestly just so busy with everything. And really a big part of my busyness is trying to figure out my schedule. I feel like every month my schedule changes a little bit. Like I have this new part-time job, which I really need to, that's kind of like high priority. And then in the background, I have my partner's shop, which I would say his is second priority. And then third priority is my shop. Now, the reason I say those priorities is because when you do work for somebody else, I feel like, in my mind at least, it feels like more like I got to focus on that first so I can get that done for those people, and then I can do my work on my shop. So that, and then trying to manage and wrangle my kid, and trying the best to be like the pseudo stay-at-home dad so I can free up time for my wife with her job. It's a lot. It's a lot. Totally worth it. I mean, we kind of had planned it out this way, but I will say, I wish I would have started my 3D print business a year earlier, so I could have a bigger headway. But either way, yeah, Amazon just has some weird quirks because I have to redesign a bunch of my packaging to meet the requirements that Amazon has, and that's just a whole nother animal that I've just not sat down and tackled yet. But anyway. But thank you for asking. It is on the list. I'll provide updates as I can. All right, next one is Broken Flame Games. Why do I feel like I've seen your shop before? Opened it up about a week ago, or a week and a half. Currently selling D&D currency tokens. That's very cool. Gotta love me some D&D. I mean, that's a whole nother world. I have some board game stuff I'd like to get out. Probably not D&D related per se, but definitely sweet. LJ3D says, have you ever tried Facebook Marketplace? And the answer to that is I have not, because I deleted my Facebook account years ago and don't intend on opening a new one. So I don't know, good or bad, call it whatever, but I mean, it's just what it is. I will say the people on Facebook Marketplace are a different animal of people. I'm on there, not me personally on my account, but I'll help with my wife, or sometimes my mom, she'll shop on there and be like, hey, we found you this, do you want it? And we'll get it. But it just seems like when you're working like that, everybody thinks they can haggle. It's not the same as a store where you go and you buy, and that's the expectation, is you get what you pay for, and that's it. Seems like people are I don't know. It's kind of like a Craigslist, just for a Craigslist replacement. Little tip of advice for packaging is lunch bags are a fantastic packaging medium because they're cheap, they fit in nice, and I'm trying to replace these bags that I use my heat gun for, the heat shrink bags. I'm trying to go to all recyclable materials, and I'm so close, except for these. So that is something I'm working on. I think I'm going to get little coin pouches to put hardware in for people, which will be really cool. All right, let's see here. Next question is, Curtis just got yours set up, your Amazon stuff set up. That's fantastic. Yeah, tell me next week, how things are going. Amazon's back end is just not, it's functional. I'm sure it works fine. I know it works fine because people have great success on there, but I mean, it just looks like, I don't know if anybody's used Salesforce here, which is the #1 CRM for businesses in whatever. Salesforce is one of the most horrendous looking platforms, but they're the industry standard. And that's how I feel about Amazon. Is it looks horrendous, and I'm sure it can do everything, but it just does not. I don't know. It's not straightforward at all, in my opinion. And I feel like I'm fairly good at figuring things out. I mean, if I wasn't, I wouldn't be here doing this. Okay, going back to the Amazon question from the same person who, I can't pronounce your name, I'm so sorry. Yeah, my wife agrees with you. It is definitely probably the one of the highest priority items. Even though it's the highest, it's still below family, watching my daughter, my personal shop, and making sure that those orders get out, my partner's shop, and then also, of course, my part-time job. So like those are the priorities above doing the extra work to get Amazon set up. It's just a matter of finding time. And I will say, I'm a very big proponent of like work-life balance. And while like when it comes to entrepreneurship, I definitely see work-life differently, because my whole thing is like, I don't want to work for my life. I want to be doing something I enjoy. So like work doesn't feel like work. Like when I think of work-life balance, I think of the traditional, you're working for somebody else and then it's not your thing, right? That I think I've always had good, strict work-life balance. But I still, even with this being able to do the thing I enjoy, I still like to give myself some breathing room every night so I don't go fully crazy. I have seen a few times when I have potentially been burnt out. Like if I'm putting out a lot of shorts during the week or something like that, you'll notice, I have more time. I haven't done that in a few weeks just because I've not had enough time. And then even this past weekend, I wasn't able to get a video out. Granted, my allergies were killing me this past weekend when I got back from a little trip. And also I didn't get back until like late Sunday. So it's just, I'm trying to make it happen, but Facebook needs probably to happen. Facebook should happen by the end of August because it's going to be a great Christmas area, right? Holiday push on Amazon, I'm sure will be huge. Let's see here. Stevie Wonderkid says, when going on Amazon, would you just start FBM or transition to FBA? That's actually a good question. If anybody else who's doing Facebook in chat, please drop some feedback for Stevie Wonderkid. My suspicion is that doing fulfilled by merchant is going to be the easiest, right? Because there's less rules around it. You don't have to like pack your items in a very specific way. So that's the first thing. And you don't have to produce a bunch of items to ship in. So I think it might be easier. But I think the benefit of Amazon is doing fulfilled by Amazon because people want that prime shipping. And if they can get prime shipping on the products because you've already shipped them into the distribution centers, that's, I think, where the value is. So that's what I'd say. Layer by layer, Salesforce admin, and I hate the look and flow of it. Yeah, that's real, for real. Let's see here. Random Joe Gamer says, been working on starting my channel too. May start live streaming myself printing things and take those videos to make shorts. Any thoughts? Be consistent. Stick to a schedule that won't burn you out. If you have to change it, don't fret too much. You might see a little bit of a hit. I did when I went from like 2 or 3 videos a week down to 1 a week. I definitely saw a hit, but I think now I've started to rebound, but it took several months. Yeah, and then also do it with the right intention, right? Like my intention with starting this channel was not to grow it like it has. It's just been to kind of document the journey and where things are at. So if you're doing it with the right intention and you have a goal with what that intention is, I think you'll see good success because people can see what that intention is even if you don't say it. So that's what I'd say. Know your intention and be consistent. Riz, hello. Welcome to the chat. Curtis, Willie, I'm doing Facebook or fulfilled by merchant, but not having any Prime badge is probably hurting me. I'm sure Amazon throws me further down the page. Yeah, again, I'm not sure. I guess I'll know when when we find out and I finally get Amazon set up. All right, so what I'm doing now is just writing a thank you. I usually just write thanks for your support on my little packing slips for people. And then, of course, you got to add a smiley face. That goes into the box. And then on the outside, I put the shipping label. The nice thing about these foldable boxes that like have the little tabs and stuff that go into each other is it really doesn't require much tape, just one strip to keep that edge down. And I've never had issues of it opening before during transit, which is cool. Fulfilled by Amazon is also cheaper to ship. That's cool. Good to know. All right. I'm going to keep working on stuff. You've got. I'll try to keep an eye on chat here for questions. What time is it? 3:36. Oh, you know what? My other print finished. Yeah, again, I feel like a little scattered because like, I don't think you guys can see. It probably doesn't look too messy in here, does it? But I'll be honest with you, like it's overwhelmingly messy. I also have stuff on the floor, which is not helping and making this place feel like I can't move around. But that is the nature of being in a 8 foot by 7 foot by 9 foot space or something like that. Really tiny here. Okay, let's see. Dragon Wizard says, 92 says, have you considered getting a digital programmable tape dispenser? And my answer is, don't tempt me with a good time. Yeah, I have thought about that. I watched the whole Adam Savage video from Tested on that super cool tape dispenser. And yeah, it's on the business dream wish list. Is it practical? Do I need it right now in the moment? The answer to that is no. I probably don't need to spend $150 or $200 on a tape dispenser. But yeah, it's on the list. It's on the list of things I really want. It is really cool. It's just kind of like one of those extra things to geek out about. But who knows? One day, maybe around Christmas. I think that would be a good goal. Like if orders get a little crazy during Christmas, because I was just doing some estimates for like what to plan and start doing projections, because I think it really is the point where business-wise and the amount of space, like I have to turn over orders quickly in here to even have any semblance of workable space, because I'm so limited. Like this whole space is like basically my assembly and packing station. But what I would say is I was doing projections on orders for this Christmas and talking with my partner. So this is actually an open question to all of you. So if you've been in business for multiple years, I'd love to hear your thoughts in chat here. Right now, we are planning on a 5x increase in sales for like the months of maybe November through January. And that's based off of some prior data. So that being said, that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff. That's potentially more printers, which is fine, because if that's the amount of sales coming in, that will easily pay those printers like no problem, like a week, less than a week. Actually, not even a week, like maybe a few days would pay a printer off. But I'm trying to like manage and think about that process. And a big piece of that is the packing station and all the shipping stuff. Yeah. Let's see here. Gary, welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, so I would love to actually know what your projections are. How many more times of sales, like comparing July, like summer months to Christmas months, like what's your typical increase in sales volume? I'd be super interested to know. I've been trying to like break down, and I only have 4 things written down, but what this setup has to be, because like right here, this space that I'm chatting to you guys from is like my prototyping, and I actually do a lot of assembly here just because it's nice. I've got I can put like a show on or watch some YouTube videos while I'm getting orders assembled. But then order staging, or sorry, printing, so like the manufacturing hub, and then it moves over to the order staging. But this has also kind of been turned into my filament storage, so I might need to swap out my filament storage and actually just make that all order staging. The whole idea of it there, excuse me, is that you put the packing slip down on a surface, and then as the parts come off the printers, because they're just parts are coming off all the printers all the time, I am putting those on top of the packing slip so I can keep track of exactly what's been done and who's been done, and it's in order of what needs to go out soonest to latest. So maybe that's the trick, is I'll need to change up my little shelving unit that I built for more order staging. And then the packing station. Yeah, I think that's good. I think it's pretty good. I need to find maybe a better spot for my boxes, which might mean moving my printers around. I don't really use my actual printer very much, but the Rollo printer I use like every day, right? Because I'm packing products, so, and shipping stuff. That could actually be hung up or put on the pegboard, which would be, I think, maybe a better use of space. I've thought about doing that before, but I just haven't got around to it yet. All right, we're seeing 3.5x increase in revenue from August last year to Christmas, and 2.5 to October. Nice, okay. I mean, even a 3 or 4x would be fantastic, but it'll be interesting because I'm like still putting out new products or working on some new products, and then the new shops that I'm starting to get those products onto. It could be a pretty good Christmas. If you guys see me and I just look disheveled during Christmas time, you'll know why. All right, we're gonna pack another one of my hoppers. So this is the packaging I like to include there. I've talked about this a long time ago, but I put a slip on the inside, and then I include the Allen wrench so people can swap the part out. I've had some people ask me, how have the super tack plates been? And the answer is they've been great, and I've not had any issues with them. They've not worn out on me, and they still work really good. And man, it is just hard to beat that surface finish off the super tack plates. I don't use them for the vast majority of my products, only for the products that do need a super clean surface finish. But for those ones that I do use it, it does look nice. But we'll swap that probably back over to the, what do you call it? Swap it back over to the textured plate here so I can get some more printers or orders going. All right. Lunch bag again. All right, let's see. Next one. Question is, have you ever used NFC tags inside 3D prints? What is an NFC tag? Is that, yeah, I'm actually not sure. I'd have to look it up. So my answer is, I don't know if I have or I have not. All right, another order ready to go. I am like on such a short timeline today. I've got this live stream, and then I have to go to the post office immediately after. And I think these are the last 2 orders. No, I've got one more order to... Oh, I got to put the shipping label on that. What am I doing? I've got it right in front of me. All right, let's see here. BJam Design says, out of curiosity, what's your print failure rate? I'm looking at Slant 3D's suggested modeling for print farms and considering redesigning some parts to avoid large flat surfaces on the print bed. My failure rates, very low. It's actually been very, very low. I don't have like a specific number for you, but I can tell you out of the last like 100 prints that I've done, this is just a guess, so I guess it is a number, maybe three reprints it really doesn't happen often. Most of my failed prints are actually like I just printed the wrong part or something like that. What does help is that I use the PLA Mat, and that's pretty much exclusively what I make and use. And then everything else is consistent, right? Same printers, same setup. So I have I'm reducing my variables or things that would be changing when printing. Also, I'd be interesting to know how you're doing your modeling because, you know, what are you making that's the full print bed? We use a lot of brims on our products because they just give you that added security. And if you do it right, it doesn't take away from the quality. But yeah. All right, let's see here. Curtis says you can hold up your phone to an NFC tag and they can automate smartphone stuff. Oh, that's interesting. So it's like a scannable, well, QR codes are scannable, but it's kind of like a QR code a little bit. That's very interesting. Nice. That's cool. I've not thought about using that. I don't know what I'd do. How would I use that? That might be cool for like board games or something, right? Like have an NFC tag embedded into a part that goes to your website for like board game instructions. Anyway, that would be cool. James Watt says, how many different products do you print per week? Probably different products. Maybe about 10 to 15 different products per week would be what I print. Let's see here. Zen Samurai says, I have NFC in front of my printers as a front switch to turn them off or turn them on with my phone. Interesting. It's very interesting. I guess you have like a smart switch too to turn them off because the switches for those printers are technically in the back, unless you don't have P1Ss. I guess I'm thinking of a bamboo printer. Little Fear says, do you do flat rate shipping? No. The answer is, well, actually, let me take that back. Kind of. On my Etsy shops, I do not do flat rate shipping. I do, you know, they can estimate their shipping charges and they pay exactly what it will cost for the shipping label. And then I just have to factor in the shipping materials like the boxes and packing material. For partner shop, for international stuff, yes, we have to do flat rate because Etsy doesn't even have a way to estimate shipping or pay what it would actually be. So for European shipping, it's actually pretty expensive, like to ship from Europe to Europe, somewhere in there. It can be anywhere from like 15 euros, 16 euros, and that's just the flat cost. So we probably make some on it and lose some on another, but I think it really depends. It's a little tricky. I'm not sure I like flat rate. It puts you at risk for losing money, but if you basically have to just price it higher than what it would normally be. All right, let's hear it. Let me just double check, make sure I got all of my orders packed up. I think this is the last one that we need to go out. Yes. Next question is Tech Ninja says, have you ever had Etsy underestimate shipping, like split items into multiple labels or overcharge? Now that you mention it, maybe. I've had scenarios where Etsy, or I'll get like a notification saying that they billed me extra for shipping. But I think that was because the box size was incorrect or the weight was incorrect. That's always how I've like interpreted that. But yeah, they might have underestimated it. But it's very rare. And again, something that I usually just don't even, it happens so little that I don't really consider it in my business stuff. James Watt says, when you start to print a new product, do you have to make it a few times before it's final for shipping the first one? you have to make a few before it's final for shipping the first one. So if I'm designing a brand new product, yeah, I'll have a lot of different prints. One, just to go through the prototyping, and then two, to figure out what settings work best and what material finish like settings. So like, yeah, there's a whole bunch of prints that go into getting a product that you are happy with and would ship to a customer. But that's all with the intention of making it print and play, right? So you're doing all that work so you can get to the point where when somebody orders a product, you can literally just pull up the G code, send it to a printer, and you're good to go, and you don't have to do anything else. So that's what I would say. And I think that's the most important piece too, is someone mentioned Slant 3D earlier, but yeah, Slant 3D does have a bunch of videos on like how to design for 3D printing that are actually really useful. And I would recommend watching them because you should be doing as much work as you can in your production process digitally. So you should be doing your product should be designed to benefit from 3D printing and what it's good at doing, and you should also be designing to mitigate where it's weak. So for instance, sharp corners, right? Like if you're doing a 90-degree angle on the print bed, that is going to be prone to peeling off the bed during the print. So you want to make sure that you're trying to eliminate all of those areas of weakness as possible because it will make your products better. But yeah, that's like a whole nother conversation. There's a lot of stuff, and I'm still learning a lot of that. I don't think you really ever stop learning that piece of it, but it's definitely super interesting. Next question. Let's see here. Lucy Giles says, isn't the point of a partnership to allow for easier shipping to your partners and products in the US and the products in the EU? Yeah, absolutely. If you were to ship something from the EU to the US or the US to the EU, it would cost like $25 or $30. So, I mean, it's a lot more expensive than the 15 that it is to ship within the EU. And again, it's a lot more complicated there, right? Because or I think it's a lot more complicated. Just seems expensive. I honestly think the US has it pretty good for our shipping rates and that type of thing. I've always been surprised how cheap it is to get something across the United States. But, yeah. Sorry, just right now. One more thank you. All right, let's see here. Mowing Grease says, I have a question. I'm going to get an Elegoo Centauri. Is it good for business? Yes, it is. I don't know all the specs personally of that printer, and I've not used one myself. But I would say anything that can make you a product that you are happy with and willing to sell, and somebody is willing to pay for it, is good for business. What you're really asking is a Centauri Carbon the most efficient printer for business, the most reliable printer for business? And that, I think, is a question mark. I don't know. The reason I chose to go with the Bamboo lineup, number one, is the A1 Minis were really cheap. Now, I know the Centauri Carbon's actually kind of like way down at that price point, but nonetheless, it was really cheap comparably to other printers. And the speed was about 2 to 3 times as fast per print job. So I knew I could get a lot of product out with those machines. The reason I chose the P1S printers is because Shop Nation, another great channel, has like 20 printers and did a 1-year analysis of the printers being used in a business capacity. And he said, came to the conclusion they were excellent. Now, again, that's not me saying don't get the Centauri Carbon, because I don't know much about it, but I didn't start with the Bamboo stuff. Get what you can afford right now. Get the best thing that you can afford, and then make good products, and you'll pay it off quickly. And then you can weigh your pros and cons and buy something different if you want something different down the road. Next question is, Mike says, definitely do international shipping. There are people who will pay $20 to ship an $8 item. Have it happen all the time. Yeah, that's literally crazy. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. That is pretty crazy. Let's see here. Curtis says 15% of my orders go international, usually $21 to $39 per shipping. That's pretty crazy. And Mike just gave you the answer. So if mowing grease, if you didn't see, Mike just gave you an answer. He's got some carbons and said they do good work for him. Let's see here. Next one is Tech Ninja said, hey, have you ever had an item in transit get stuck in transit, even though Etsy says it's delivered? No, I've not. I guess I'm really lucky. I will say the nice thing about 3D printing, for the most part, depending on what the product is, like the ones on my shop, if something were to get stuck in transit, I would just ship them a new one. It's not like, obviously you're not making money on that, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. Yeah. Let's see here. Okay, cool. I think we've got 4 minutes left in stream today. I've got time for a few more questions. While I'm waiting for that to come through, I just want to say, again, thanks to all of you guys for supporting. If you do like this type of content, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel. I have weekly videos and then weekly live streams. And then on top of that, if you also really like what's going on here, you can support me on Patreon. It is really just to help support the production of these this content, live streams, and also the videos that I put out weekly. I do have some stuff on there, like this will be the probably not the most, this will be the August. The August 3D file STL that's coming out for the Patreon members are going to be this for the tape dispenser wall mount thing, which is pretty cool. Just making one additional change to it. And then I've got some worksheets on there. Just an update to the idea pad or idea launch pad, which I hopefully fleshes out some more details on how to use that document. And you could potentially get your name on my pipe, which is kind of cool. I'll have to bring that around with me when I eventually move. All right, let's see here. You guys normally bombard me with questions at the very end. We're keeping it cool today, which is actually kind of nice. Kind of nice. We might be able to end at 4. All right, while you guys are thinking that over, I'm going to start putting a few things away. Oh, I think I mentioned it last time, but these, I designed the pegboard wall mount thing for the Gridfinity system, and they work great. It's up on Patreon. That is free for everybody. I'm not going to make anybody pay for an open source tool or open source platform, but that is really great. Tech Ninja says, get your name on the pipe. Sounds kind of dirty. Well, it is actually the pipe from my sink in my kitchen, so technically it is dirty on the inside. But yeah, you can get your name on the pipe for certain supporters. They go up there. Zen Samurai, thanks for the live stream. All the best. Yeah, appreciate you for being here. I'm always surprised how many people show up. I do appreciate it. Hope you find some valuable info. I will make sure Amazon is on my priority list. That's got to get up so we can start getting orders out, especially before Christmas, because that's going to be the important one. Let's see here. Last couple things here is any plans on making a design challenge with your community? Maybe something like design something out of TPU and see who can get the most sales in 1 month. Kind of. There is something in the works. There's no official timeline on that, but yeah, potentially that could be something down the road. Mark says, hello from the UK, is loving the channel, thinking of starting my own shop. Thanks for the advice. No problem. I'm glad you could be here. All right, I think we are going to wrap it up. Again, I'll see everybody this weekend for a video. Thanks again for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day. I am headed to the post office. I've got to get some orders out, and then I've got like 10 or 12 more that need to be made and shipped. So it's going to be a busy end of the week for me. I will see you all this weekend. See you later.